Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a 4th century argument that might just change how you see, well, everything. What if I told you that right now, nothing in the entire universe is actually moving? Not the planet, not the chair you're sitting in, not even you. Sounds crazy, right? Well, let's find out why it might not be. All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll start with what we all think is obvious, the common sense of motion. Then we're going to look at why the past can never reach the present and why the present has nowhere to go. After that, we'll see how stillness can create this perfect illusion of movement. And finally, we'll get to the really deep part, the reason behind this whole mind-bending argument. So first things first, we have to start with the reality we all share. You know, the undeniable feeling that everything, everywhere is constantly on the move. I mean, this is the most basic truth of our lives, isn't it? The sun goes up, the sun goes down, we get older. Our senses are just bombarded every single moment with confirmation that change and movement are the rules of the game. Or so it seems. And what's so cool is that the 4th century Buddhist monk who wrote this, Seng Zhao, he starts off by totally agreeing with us. He says, look, life, death, the changing seasons, of course it looks like everything's moving. He's meeting us right where we are, right before he completely pulls the rug out from under us. And here it is. Right after getting on the same page, he drops the bomb. He asks this radical question that's at the very heart of his argument. What if all this motion we see isn't real? What if it's all just a huge misunderstanding of how time actually works? So how in the world does he even begin to build this case? Well, the very first pillar of his argument is to prove that the past is completely, totally, and fundamentally separate from the present. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because he reframes the whole problem. You see, we tend to think of an object, say, a person, traveling along a timeline from past to present. But Seng Zhao says, nope. The object in the past and the object in the present are two entirely different things, and they are each locked in their own separate moments. And this is the crucial logical step. It's all about definitions. If something is truly a past thing, its entire existence is contained within the past. So it's not just that it doesn't come to the present, it's that it logically cannot. Its very nature as a past thing forbids it. Let's make this more concrete. Just think about yesterday. It's gone. And not just in a poetic way, it is fundamentally locked away in that time block we call yesterday. Not a single atom, not a single bit of energy, no piece of it has actually made the journey to become part of today. Okay, so if the past is sealed off, it can't get to us, but what does that mean for right now, for the present moment? Well, according to Seng Zhao, it means the present is trapped too. And this is it's such a brilliant piece of inescapable logic. Think about it. If the road from the past is closed, then the road to the future must also be closed. Motion needs a from and a to. He just proved the from doesn't exist. So what this means is that each present moment is like a single, self-contained frame in a movie. It only exists in its own presentness. It's completely defined by this very instant, with absolutely no ability to escape and travel into the next frame. To really bring this home, the text tells this powerful story. A young man leaves his village. He comes back decades later, an old man with white hair. A neighbor sees him and asks, "Are you the man from yesterday?" And his reply is just shocking. He says, "I resemble the man of yesterday, but I am not him." He's not just an older version. He's a completely different person. And that's the whole point. According to this logic, you are not one continuous person moving through your life. You are a nearly infinite series of distinct beings, each one existing for only a single static instant, one after the other. The you from 5 seconds ago? Gone. Replaced by the brand new you of right now. Okay, this leads to a massive question, right? If everything is just a series of static moments, why on earth does the world so convincingly look like it's moving? How do we solve this paradox? Well, the text has this beautiful, elegant solution right here. Though moving, it is always still. See, it's not denying that we perceive change, it's just redefining what motion actually is. The best way to think about it is like a film reel. Each frame is a perfectly still picture, but when you play them one after another really fast, you get this compelling illusion of movement. Seng Zhao is arguing that this is exactly how reality works. And he uses these amazing, powerful examples. Take a raging hurricane, the very definition of violent motion. But if you could just freeze time down to a single, infinitely small instant, that hurricane isn't going anywhere. It just is. In that frozen moment, it is perfectly, absolutely still. It's the same with a surging river. The water you see in this instant is not the same water from a moment ago that traveled downstream. No, it's entirely new water in a brand new, static moment. The appearance of flow just comes from the constant, rapid-fire replacement of one still frame of the river with the next. So this is a really fascinating mental workout, but is that all it is? Why go to all this trouble to argue that nothing moves? What's the ultimate point here? This is not just some philosophical puzzle. It's actually a practical guide. The whole point of this text, the treatise on the immutability of things, is spiritual. If you can truly grasp that the things you cling to, your possessions, your relationships, even your own idea of yourself, if you realize they aren't solid objects moving through time, but are actually just a flickering series of momentary events, then your attachment to them just dissolves. You stop suffering when they change, because you realize there was never a solid thing to hold on to in the first place. And Zhengzhao knew this was a tough pill to swallow. He literally writes, "True words seem paradoxical," basically admitting that to describe reality as it is, you have to say things that sound completely wrong to our common sense. He's asking us to trust the logic, even when our gut is screaming that it can't be true. And that really brings us to the end, leaving us with one last profound question to carry with us. If yourself isn't this continuous thread, but a constant replacement of one momentary being with another, then what does that say about who you really are in this one ever still present moment?